I think when you think about the life of Shimon ben Yochai as described in the Gemara, uh, it is hard not to think that he wouldn't uh, be appalled at what now occurs in Har Meron in his honor, and he, I would imagine, would be pleased at any uh, motion from that activity towards the activity of rebuilding the temple. Shimon ben Yochai witnessed the destruction of Judea at the hands of the Romans. There's obviously this famous Gemara about him hiding with his son in a cave for years, where they were studying Torah constantly in a cave while they were up to their necks in dirt and eating miraculously delivered carob beans. And then they come out of the cave and the whole world is disintegrating or burning up before their eyes, and they have to go back in the cave so as not to destroy Hashem's creation. And then once they come out and Ben Yochai looks at the world and it falls apart, and his son looks at it and puts it back together. And once they do tikkun olam and fix the boundary of a graveyard so that Kohanim can pass by, then they're kind of reintegrated into society. But I think there are a lot of things in that Gemara that are relevant to this discussion here, because uh, one of the things, it starts off with the fact that Shimon ben Yochai hated the Romans, and he was fiercely in favor of Judaic sovereignty in the land of Israel. And the Romans were the ones who destroyed the temple. And so, just looking at things in negative space, if the Romans are the destroyers of the temple and Shimon ben Yochai famously hated the Romans more than anyone, Shimon ben Yochai wants to rebuild the temple that the Romans destroyed. And moreover, that's even kind of implied in this eventual tikkun olam that takes place when he's being reintegrated into the world, right? There's an attraction to Shimon ben Yochai that maybe fits the kind of Haredi aesthetic, because the part of the story where he's in a cave studying Torah and just like cut off from the material world, and like that's such a good thing. But really in the story, it's not a good thing, because when all he does is study Torah, he comes out of the cave, he can't exist in the world, and Hashem won't even let him be in the world because he just wants to destroy the world because of its imperfection or something, because of, his mind is so kind of cerebrally immersed in Torah that he can't relate to the world in which Torah is meant to be practiced. And he has to kind of relearn how to do what's right in the world Hashem made, which is what the Torah is for. And when he does that, what is he doing? He's preparing the boundary of a graveyard so that Kohanim can pass through. In other words, in a time when the Romans were destroying the temple and there's death all around, the activity that he's engaged in is about creating the boundary between life and death that will enable kehuna, that will enable priesthood to go and do its job, which is to teach Torah in the world amongst the other tribes and to serve Hashem on his mountain in Yerushalayim.